We are at the scene of a massive fire in what appears to be the downtown area. You can see smoke rising, even at this early stage. Firefighters have arrived on scene and are aiming the first hose at the building that is engulfed in flames. The building is burning fiercely with a large plume of smoke, a sign that the fire is spreading rapidly. The fire is burning fiercely, quickly consuming the entire facade of the building. The fire is burning through what used to be windows and doors, and the smoke is now pitch black as the fire consumes everything in its path. You can see here that the fire is spreading outwards and to surrounding buildings. This is a very dangerous situation. We heard an explosion. This fire was not only large, but also spreading. You can see the flames starting to spread to the sidewalk out front as the pressure from inside starts to build. You can see some civilians running out of the area, while first responders are trying to get into the building and get the fire under control. As the fire spreads, you can see that the fire has almost completely burned down a former store. Note the intensity of the flames. They are spreading higher and further along the front of the building, and it is now completely engulfed. There is thick black smoke rising. Firefighters will have a lot of work to do to get this under control. We have a relatively quiet moment here. The fire is burning bright and fierce. You can hear all the popping and cracking. Traffic and pedestrians are still moving as far away from this situation as possible. It's clear that this fire isn't slowing down anytime soon, so it's clearly still dangerous here for first responders and people in the area. The fire is blazing again, engulfing the building in a swirling flame. You can see the smoke rising rapidly, forming a large plume as the fire continues to spread. The flames are licking around the edges, a sign that the fire is getting more intense. We're moving in to feel the destructive power of the fire. This is where you can see the danger. Hey, look at the fire. It's spreading quickly from the doors and windows. It's hard to see what the initial fire was. The fire is coming out of the structure and starting to spread out onto the street. The smoke is now so thick that it is difficult to see the entire building. The fire continues to intensify. More flames are coming as it spreads to the upper floors of the building. You can hear the firefighters working as they desperately try to extinguish this fire. Here we see another angle of this fire. It is really starting to eat away at the structure of the building. The temperature is very high, and the fire continues to burn, as the building is clearly showing signs of major damage. The smoke is getting darker and thicker, which shows how much fuel is burning and how little the firefighters have managed to contain the fire so far. We can see that the fire is still burning very strongly, burning everything in its path. The first responders have been on the scene for a while now, and they show no signs of stopping. Firefighters continue to maintain their operations as they extinguish the blaze and protect surrounding structures. It's a chaotic scene, but you can see the focus and dedication of the firefighters as they make their way towards the building. We can see the crew continuing to fight this fire, directing water into every exposed area of the building. The fire is burning fiercely and intensely. These firefighters are dealing with a difficult situation here today. Firefighters are currently working on the roof, making sure to stop any spread of the fire from above. You can see how their water jets are pushing back the fire and helping to protect other structures. They are working together as a team, using the hoses to spray at the base of the fire. They are making a real impact. You can see here that the fire has spread through some parts of the building, but first responders are still trying to stop the spread. The fire is still raging, and it's clear the firefighters are making some progress. They're still focused on their target. The smoke is still huge here. It's almost completely blocking the view of the building. Firefighters are still working hard to put out the fire. Doesn't seem like it wants to stop. You can hear the sirens as multiple fire trucks are called to the scene. This fire isn't stopping, and neither are they. The fire has been burning for a while, but you can see the fire crews are still working hard to put it out. The fire has died down a bit, but it's still burning fiercely as black smoke billows out of the building. The work isn't over here yet. Even though the fire has slowed down, the fire crews are still working hard to completely put it out. The first responders have been here for a while now. They are doing their best to put it out and make sure the public is safe.
ヘリコプター
You can see some of the fire crews starting to take a break as other crews arrive on the scene. The fire has died down. You can see the firefighters' efforts are really paying off. But the fight is not over yet. You can see them continuing to advance and make sure they have the situation under control. The fire is now largely contained with water hoses inside and outside. Firefighters are using ladders to get a better position on the roof, making sure the fire is completely extinguished. The smoke is still quite thick, but you can hear the fire starting to die down. With the fire mostly out, crews are focusing on the inside, making sure to put out any flames that are still burning. They are using water pressure to push the smoke out, giving them a better view of the inside of the building. You can see the crews working as a unit. They have a goal in mind, and they are working hard to accomplish that goal. The fire has been significantly reduced, but first responders are still working hard to make sure no fires flare up again. Here, we have another look inside, with firefighters spraying water into every area to put out any hotspots. You can still see small fires flickering, but the crew is doing a phenomenal job of completely extinguishing any signs of fire. As the immediate threat of flames subsides, the scene transitions into a more controlled environment. Firefighters are now moving past the immediate fire suppression and are carefully working to assess the building structure and ensure there's nothing that could reignite. You can see they are working to make sure they have got the hot spots and any remaining embers under control. Even with most of the fire extinguished, we can still see some pockets of flame in the interior of the structure. Here you see how the crews are still targeting the fire and cooling the areas around the remaining flames. The fire is almost out, but firefighters know that they can't let their guard down. You can see the smoke plume slowly starts to dissipate, making it possible to make out the outline of the building again. The smoke has decreased, but it continues to billow from underneath the structure and out to the sky above. As we zoom out, we can see the entire scene. The building is still smoldering and smoke is rising. The work to completely extinguish this fire is still underway. You can see that they are using a long fire hose to really get inside the building and douse the last of the fire. First responders begin their work of inspecting and ensuring the building is safe. It looks like the crews are getting ready to begin what will be a long and difficult cleanup of the scene. Now we are seeing that the fire has completely collapsed the structure. It's a testament to the power of the fire we just witnessed. Here we're given a better view of the full extent of the damage. The fire has really taken a toll on this building. The roadway will now need to be assessed for damage, with cleanup crews ready to get to work. Here we see the last of the flames put out, but firefighters continue to work all around the building's perimeter and structure. The fire crews are now getting ready to prepare to move all the burnt rubble. It is clear that the structure is badly damaged, and it will take some time before anything can be done here. We have a shot here of how the smoke and steam is starting to dissipate. The fire crews are preparing to leave the area. The smoke column is now much smaller and thinner as the flames start to die down and the heat dissipates. You can see first responders are beginning to move and secure the area, ensuring that everything is now safe. We get a look here at the firefighters taking a moment to regroup and begin packing up their gear. You can see that even though the fire is out, the area around the building is still steaming. We're seeing more of the full extent of the damage to the building. It is a total loss. We get to see a closer shot of the cab. All the heat has really taken its toll. You can see all of the damage. The front is completely melted, and the roof and structure are a mess of melted metal and scorched debris. The fire has been extinguished, and the water being used to put out the fire is running everywhere. It's a testament to how much work they had to do. You can see here a lot of charred debris is left on the roadway. The highway crews are working to make sure everything is safe and clear before traffic can begin flowing again. The smoke is finally clearing, and we have a view of the full scene. The building is damaged beyond repair. It's important to remember the incredible effort of the first responders who bravely battled the blaze. This was a difficult scene with many challenges. Thankfully, it has now been completely taken care of, and all are safe.